Hello folks, I'm Bob and welcome to a bit more StarCitizen. In a little turn for my style of videos, this is going to have a little opinion piece here to start with, as the end of the week has put us a great deal to devour information wise. This week's Around the Verse, giving us a good look at the up and coming 600i, with the Explorer variant being playable hopefully in June if they stick to the quarterly release schedule that seems to be working so far for them this year. I really like this pattern. Q1 release dropped whilst I was at the Insomnia Gaming Festival with Board Gamer and his gang, as well as the lovely Cameron from CIG, so it was nice to try and break the PTU and the Reclaimer there whilst the 3.1 patch was launching. The 600i Explorer is going to be my main ship throughout the verse when the game does eventually launch in its full capacity. The Origin line is very much my kind of ship, aesthetically speaking. So much as I love the Connie Keeler, the 600i is going to be my baby, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it land on the PTU in the next couple of months and getting to dive into its innards. We also saw the concept release of the new Origin starter ship, the 100 series, which is obviously now set to replace the 300 series, which, as we know, is due a redesign and it's being looked at again. So it'll be interesting to see if CIG bump the 300 series to a bigger size, much like the Avengers in the process of doing now, as we also saw on ATV. And see if it's turned into something more Cutlass Black or Freelancer-like, as I think it's set to be the mid-range ship now of the Origin lineup, unless they bring something out in the future. That could happen. This also means they're going to have to do something with the 350R, maybe turn that into some kind of hybrid between the 100 and 300, so it becomes the 100R. Something along those lines, we'll have to see. Otherwise, if CIG decide to upscale it and leave it, then I want to see a racing Freelancer for shits and giggles. As I said, the Origin line is very much my favourite lineup, and as much as I'm liking the look of the 100 series as well as the cost, especially the cheaper LTI Warbond option, which is a great marketing sucker punch from CIG, I do intend to get one. However, this is because of the low cost and you can kind of use them for LTI tokens at the minute rather than the holy shit balls it looks amazing for a starter ship reasons. I mean, it does. But at the moment it's just pictures, as we've seen with all the other concepts, and it's kind of, you know, it's your own face value of how you like it, and I do want to have a better look at it in game first. It's essentially Origin's answer to the Aurora, and I personally love the Aurora for all the stick I give it for saying, you know, it's like an interplanetary hearse because it's got a coffin in the back. The variants are great, and I love how organic and simple it is to use in game. As you might have seen when I was testing the persistence in the video I did the other day, it's so easy to simply get in, turn it on, point it in a general direction towards a moon, and off you go. There's no clunkiness or having to deal with large turns or anything like that, like ships with a larger mass, like a Starfarer or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see if the 100 series can replicate that kind of ease of use feel for someone who's new to the realm of internet spaceships. The Avengers had its turn too. I personally don't own one anymore. I used to, and I liked it for the Space Penguin that it was, but I've since melted it and moved on. I'll be keeping a weather eye on how it changes, however. I do like them and they're a very useful all-rounder. So with that, we'll go back to the regular shenanigans, and we had the 3.1.2D patch land on the PTU last night. The only real major additional content was the Gemini Ballistic Shotgun, which I'll show you in a moment, and the rest was some more performance fixes. They also disbanded the Olisar NPC boy bands that we had by deciding to let them all move around the station again. They're no longer stuck in place. So I'll show you what I did with the PTU. It's quite hard to stay on the server at the minute because they seem to be shutting them every 10-15 minutes. They're obviously doing some extended logging again, but here we go. Okay, so we're back in the PU and I'm in the Aurora again. I decided to do something a bit different this time rather than land on a planet and go to one of the shelters or something. Decided to test out the persistence in orbit. So we're above Daymar and we decided to use the coffin here as opposed to going and landing somewhere on a planetary surface that, you know, could be a bit more stable rather than just, you know, going back to normal bed. And as you can see, it works perfectly. We're waking up, we're back in the Aurora. There was no hitching, there wasn't a delayed waiting time. Frame rates are still fantastic. I tried to open the door to see if you could do it whilst your guy was getting up, but unfortunately he still phases through the door. That's still a thing we've got to live with. But as you can see, performance is rock solid, the frames are rock solid. We're in orbit above Daymar, we haven't moved. I did leave the engine on when I was doing this, so I couldn't tell if the engine had come back on again, but it was doing really well. So for this one, I decided to fly a Sabre down, and what I'm doing here is I'm going to show you the Gemini Ballistic Shotgun, which is what they added with this PTU. So I'm just going to let the performance of the game speak for itself, and you can enjoy the little journey down.
Landing gear deployed. Landing complete. Launch. Landing complete.
Okay, so here we are. This is the Ballistic Shotgun, the Gemini. I think it looks great. It doesn't even look like a shotgun until you start using it, and then you look at the fire pattern. It looks like something from Mass Effect. And there we go. So I also tried to see if you could use persistence in the emergency shelters, but nothing in them at the moment unfortunately is interactable, so you can't go inside an emergency shelter and use it as a bed to try and save yourself from a logout at the minute. All you can do is use the main station, so Levski, Olisar, Grimhex, and then try and log out from there. You can't use any of the planetary stations right now, so I decided to have a kip on the floor instead. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm really hoping that they push the current PTU to live. I'll be very surprised if they don't do it tonight and the night that this video goes out, because it's looking rock solid, and I hope I'll see you in the verse. See you around.